G'day guys, welcome. Come on in. Hi Linda, hi Joe, hi Vinny, hi Fiona, hi Mum. Hello Marg, hello Philly. We've got chrisandphilly.fm. We got 3 Chris and Phillies on tonight. Who's the other Chris and Philly? We got Joe. Let's see. All right. Welcome everybody to workshop number 5 in this round of Reckoning, or Spark, I should say. So let's party. Let's move on. All right. So welcome. My intention tonight is to help you to get clear on what's important to you. A lot of times we find that the biggest reason why people burn out is because we keep telling ourselves this story that we're not important, we're not enough, we don't matter. Everybody else is more important than us. You know that Eeyore? You know Eeyore in Winnie the Pooh? Why do I even bother? There's no point. Who cares? As soon as we're born, we start dying. You know? The thing that gets me about Eeyore is that he never lies. He just doesn't tell himself the truth. There's always this missing piece. He just misses the point. And he never really tells fibs, does he? So tonight, what I would like to do is help you to get clear on what your truth is, what's really important for you, help you to get clear on that so you can stop prioritizing all this other stuff that's just not important or not true, and start leaning in towards that. All right. Where are we? We're in Reckoning. That's incorrect. We're actually in desired state. Chris didn't proofread that slide. Okay, so permission. I'm wondering if you can give yourself permission to be here now with us, with all of us, and just show up in the best way that you know how. Is it okay? Let's get in the chat box. Sign on the dotted line with a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you okay being here? Yep. Cool. And be honest. Like if you're firing at less than 100%, be at less than 100%. I'll put my guitar down. Fine. I just looked around just to make sure that mine was away. Okay, cool. Awesome. Hey, here's another one for you. There's a part of you that knows all the answers. There's a part of you that has it's got it all figured out. There's a part of you that's the best version of yourself. There's a part of you that makes really darn good decisions, sticks to them, has always got your back. There's a part of you that really wants the best for you in your life. So what does that look like for you? The part of you that knows what's best for you. That part of you that makes good decisions. Just take a moment. Just you don't have to write it in the chat, but just think about that. And I would invite you to just consider how you get in touch with and how you kind of sift through the muck, the garbage, the dust, the riffraff, and get straight to the good stuff. You know, sometimes your kid might say to you, "Oh, come on, can't I please do the thing or have the thing, or can't I stay up till 12 o'clock tonight and every other night? Can't I please have like M&Ms for dinner and breakfast and blah, blah, blah." Like, you know, like your kids might say, maybe they don't, but they'll say something that's childish, right? But you're an adult and you know better. Who's the adult part in you that knows better, that's got the answers, that's got all that? Just try and close your eyes even and just get in touch with that part of you. That part of you that is looking out for you. Because I really want to talk to that part of you tonight. Good job. All right. So as per normal, use the chat. Cameras on if you can. If you can't, that's okay, but it'd be awesome if you could. Let's do this. Go. Okay. So what I would like to do is just chat about the important things in your life. So, some things that stop us from getting in touch with our values, things that hold us back from getting clear. I tried really hard to find a Houston, we have a problem image. And do you remember Apollo 13? I'm pretty sure it's been a while. They had a fire in the capsule, right? Or am I off? I think it's, has anyone seen that movie? Tom Hanks. Don't remember. Dang it. Okay, let's roll with it. They were on an important mission and they burned out. So they had a problem. Houston, we have a problem. And sometimes we can be on course for where we want to go. We're on a mission to do something. And we just burn out. I think these guys made it back alive. Sometimes that's what it might feel like for us. We burn out and crash. So what I would like to do tonight is get really clear on your values. Here's a good one. This is from Alice in Wonderland. Get out of here, buddy. Okay, so it says, so Alice is walking through the forest. You more than likely everybody knows this. If you don't know it, just let me know. Alice is walking through the forest and she sees a cat, Cheshire Cat, and she says, "Would you tell me, please, which way I ought to go from here?" And the cat says, "Well, that depends a good deal on where you want to go, get to." And then Alice says, "I don't much care where." And then the cat interrupts and says, "Then it doesn't matter which way you go." And she says, "Well, so long as I can get somewhere." And the cat says, "Oh, you're sure to do that? If only you walk long enough." Sometimes a big problem with what we see with our clients is that you don't care where you're going. My legs are tired. I don't want to walk too long. Is that in the book? I think that's what she says next. Is that what she says? I think it's something like that. Don't know. Something like that anyway. But what Philly and I have found is that sometimes you just don't care where you're going, or you're not clear on where you're going, and you wander around and you get lost. Sometimes you do know where you want to go, but you follow advice from cats in trees. And you get distracted and you go down any path. What that looks like is Dr. Google, forum hopping, detox downloads. Oh, what are some other ones? Philly, you got some good ones. Like Dr. Google is my favorite thing to say, forum hopping. And it just leads to confusion and frustration because it's not really the advice that you might need. So another big problem is that unclearness. Another one is over prioritizing unimportant stuff. There's this thing called the Eisenhower Square. Has anyone ever heard of the Eisenhower Square? Just in the chat box if you've heard of it. It's like a cool, Fiona. So it's like a productivity or a time management thing. So what it looks like is this right on the screen. So you got this quadrant, and you've got important up the top, and you've got urgent over here. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but there's things that are important but not urgent. Then there's things that are important and urgent. Then there's things that are not important, but they are urgent. And then there's stuff that's not. Joe, I used this at work, but didn't realize what it was called. Yeah. So the Eisenhower Square or quadrant. And a lot of times we just get caught up over here. We force ourselves to just keep doing the things that pop up, the things that are urgent, needed. We've got these grand intentions of doing the important stuff that's above the line, but something is always there to just pull us in another direction. The wants or the needs of others just require urgent attention. Bills to be paid, dishes to be done, children to take here, husbands to discipline. Mark, we might have these urgent things. And what I've noticed is that the more time we spend chasing these urgent fires that we need to put out, these fires that just pop up all over the place, the more we chase putting out fires, eventually we're going to burn out, aren't we? And that might describe some of you. Just chasing the needs of others, things that aren't important to us, but they're urgent. Does that resonate with anybody? Yep. Cool. So, yeah, it's like a notification screen. You get these notifications, the little red ones or twos or does anyone have notifications? The red icon on their like email or text messages or anything like that? Who's got the biggest notification number on their emails or on their text messages? The most unread. Philly, what's yours up to? Although the other day I was in your phone and I cleared a few things. Currently 2. Oh, look at that. Mine are always pretty low. Wait, 2,451, Fiona. Is that real? That's amazing. So for those of you watching the recording, she just showed us. Vinny, 2,105. little red dots. Hey, did you guys know you can turn that circle thing off? You go to in your settings, there's a like turn notifications off, and it stops telling you how much you've got to do. It's so that okay. Practical tip number one. Honestly, notifications off. Has anyone ever tried? Have you guys who are on the call? Have you ever tried to call me? Like my phone? Philly has. What happens when you call me, Phil? Oh, actually, sometimes I usually answer for you. It's 50-50. So, Mum, Vicky's my mum. For those of you who didn't know, Vicky, have you ever tried to call? You have tried to call me. What do I normally do? You know why? Because I turn my phone on silent. And I turn off notifications. I don't even answer the phone for my mum or my wife. I am busy. I'm busy chasing those like non-urgencies. I'm busy being like Larry and playing guitar. So that I guess yeah. Kimberly, my phone is 100% always on silent. I have it near me so I can see the screen if my kids aren't with me and might need me. Yeah, but it's always on silent. I read the other day, other people's urgencies is not your emergencies. Oh, I like that. Other people's urgency is not your emergency. I like it. Put that on a t-shirt. Yeah. So, and that's the point I'm trying to get to is are we urgently seeking burnout? Are we urgently trying to bury ourselves? Are we urgently trying to stress ourselves out? If stress is such a big thing, and if stress has such a massive impact on our sleep and therefore our health and well-being and happiness and all that sort of stuff, are we, where and when and how are we just shooting ourselves in the foot? So my invitation would be try and find as many ways as you can not do that as possible. And swipe. And swipe. And swipe. There we go. Okay. Excuses. You know, Pinocchio. I read or listened to a Jordan Peterson video or podcast, and it was about the hidden meaning of Pinocchio, the Disney version of Pinocchio. I think the actual real version of Pinocchio is a little bit messed up. Go look that up. But the Disney one is, Pinocchio wanted to be a real boy and not really grow up. He wanted to just chase kid things. And he started to learn about truth and honesty and all that sort of stuff. And I think a lot of us don't want to grow up I might not be speaking to some of you. I might be speaking to others, but not all of you. But sometimes we just hide out as our child and we make excuses and we just don't keep our word and we're not honest with ourselves. And we get this like big nose. But instead of our nose growing, our health symptoms get bigger or more noticeable anyway. They pop out, right? So sometimes we get these excuses. We want to do these things that are important. We want to, but, we get these things. It's like, but, or, I don't know. What are some other ones? There's, I can't, or I should. You get stuck up should creek. What's another excuse? for not following through on the important stuff, doing the things that we value. In the chat, just pop some good ones down. Time. Here we go. Yeah, time. Weather. That's a good one. Yeah, when, if, too busy. Yeah, all that. Great one. Okay, so these are all their excuses. I once heard a saying, so mum, just cover your ears. Excuses are like buttholes. Everyone's got one. And they're usually full of so yeah, there you go. That's nicer. Oh, that's way nicer than what I just said. Philly just wrote, excuses are just strategies. Yeah, but that doesn't have the same ring, Phil. Yeah, poo jokes. Poo jokes are good. Okay, another thing is sometimes our values just get a little bit blurry and we have conflicting values. For example, I love my kids, love my wife, but I love taking care of myself as well. So it's just like, what do I do? What sort of ring? Yeah, has a ring to Linda, awesome. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes we just get caught in Blurville where it's not really well defined. We aren't quite clear on what is the most important. And sometimes both are important. So which is more important? And when? And where? What's the context? What's the criteria? Because sometimes, like I love my kids, and I think I would really go out of my way to provide for them and make them happy, but not at flaming 11 o'clock at night. Go the heck to bed, right? There's a time and a place for all things. Nothing's wrong until it is. Everything's okay until it's not. So when is one thing less valuable than the other? And where's the ground that you need to stand? Where's the boundary? Where's the stop sign? You know? Okay. Pause. Time out. What's your insight so far? Let's just get a little bit of not me talking. Thoughts, ideas, insights, questions. Oh, okay, I can seatbelt off. Yeah. Yeah. Amen. Yeah, it's all contextual, isn't it? Yeah. So Alice in Wonderland, she didn't know where she wanted to go. So she followed any path. She got lost, started listening to cats in trees that talked. Then there's like no idea. Then there's like, you do have an idea, but things get a little bit blurry and you're not sure what to do and when. And then like you said, the comparison sometimes comes in. I should do this. I should do that. Or I value what you're saying, or society or culture or tradition is saying, but then I've got this inner turmoil, this whirlwind that's going off inside of me, this conflict, and I'm just getting swept away into overwhelm. Or you put up your defenses and you get stressed. You either run away, or you do nothing and you just kind of freeze, or you fight. Get argumentative, either with yourself or with others. That sort of thing. Any other insights, guys? Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes we got to grow up. Hey, that's I need a t-shirt with that on it myself. But yeah, from my experience, the more grown up I am, the more grown up conversations, the more grown up relationships, the more grown up decisions I make, the happier I am. It's not easy being an adult. It's pretty tough, and life's not fair either. All the things you need are falling into your lap. Yeah, Mark, you just said Larry and I, two peas in a pod, right? Okay, so there's a way out. There's a way out of this, and here's the thing. There's a game plan. Inattention. Has anyone ever sailed a yacht before? You believe in miracles. Oh, okay. You're not talking about the yacht, which is actually quite appropriate. Philly, you wrote that because when we were sailing, there was lots of miracles. I'm a sailor. I'm an expert at that one time of my life. This one time. So what you gotta do, guys, in order to go forward, I believed in miracles when Chris didn't kill us on the yacht. Amen. See? There we go. Okay, so this you put the now I'm going to like lower myself to like absolute idiot. So you put the rope in the thingy and you pull it, and it creates like a bit of tension, and eventually the sail I didn't know what, like the winch. I think it's called winch. Anyway. And then you just pull it, and eventually the sail goes up and you start moving forwards. And I think that's like life for us. We've just got to build this inner tension, this inside tension, this tension inside of us, this frustration, this I'm not going to stand here anymore or for that anymore. This is not okay anymore. And you make a stand, or you get out of Dodge, or something changes, but that tension, it pulls you from inside, an inner tension, this tension from in. It's the Newtonian laws of physics. I think it's the first or second, maybe it's the third, fourth, whatever. That's like all of them. It's like Something will stay still until there's some sort of force causing it to go forwards, right? So for us, it would be this tension inside of us. This I'm not gonna stay here. I'm gonna move. And when we feel that, when we want that, we move forwards. And that's kind of the point of this one, the young man and the guru. I think we talk about this in the videos, or did we cut that out, Phil? We might have cut it out. Does this ring a bell to anyone? Maybe if you've watched this, been with us a few times, it might ring a bell. Okay, young man and a guru. Young man meets a guru. Guru says, hey, I hear you want to learn how to be successful. Come meet me at the beach early o'clock in the morning, and I'll teach you how to be successful. Next morning, young man rocks up. He's wearing a suit, and the guru says, all right, let's go into the water. And so the young man starts taking off his shirt and his shoes, and the guru's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I thought you wanted to be successful. And he's like, oh yeah, these are expensive. I thought we were going to, have a chat. And he's like, no. Come on out into the water. Come join me. And the young man's like, can I at least take my shoes off? And the guru's like, do you want to be successful or not? And the young man's like, well, yeah. And the guru's like, water, let's go. So anyway, the young man gives up. He walks out into the water in his suit, in his shoes, stands in the water. Water just kind of trickles over the shoes, and the guru walks out up to his waist. He's like, come on, do you want to be successful or not? And the young man's like, may as well, let's go. So the young man walks out, suit's basically ruined, and he's up to his waist, gets up to his chest, and the guru's like, come on, all the way, let's go. You want to be successful or not? Anyway, the young man goes all the way out. He's got his head just barely above the water. And he's like, all right, what are we doing? And the guru says, now, last time, do you want to be successful? And the young man's like, yes, I said I wanted to be. And the guru's like, and he pushes him underwater and he holds his head down. And the young man's like trying to jump off, and the guru's like pushing him under, holding him. Right at the last second, when the young man just wanted to give up, the guru pulls him up out of the water and holds him. And he said, what did you want just now? He's like, I wanted to get out of the water. No. Before that, what did you want? More than anything else. Otherwise, if you don't get this right, I'll do it again. He's like, I just wanted to breathe. And he's like, you wanted to breathe. When you want to breathe, when you want something as much as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And the guru just walks away, walks out into the distance. And the young man's left treading water, wondering what to do with his life. When you want something as much as you want to breathe, well, you're gonna be more than likely. I mean, this is simplistic, but you're more than likely going to be successful. So it's that inner tension, that wanting it so much, just as much as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Sometimes we fit others' oxygen masks first. And we well, that doesn't serve us, does it? This martyrdom, this wanting to serve others instead of ourselves, this looking out for others but not really looking out for us, this over prioritization of other people rather than ourselves. So, before we do that, Kimberly, I am going to put my glasses on. Okay, I think we're often pulled this way and that, and what we want is watered down or drowned out altogether. Boom. So it can be hard to come up for air and claim what's most important in a way. Yes. Yeah, it can be difficult. And so what we'll go through tonight is, well, how can you be clear? How can you keep your head above water so you don't drown. Try and mix metaphors. So how can you keep your head above water without drowning? How can you prioritize the things that are valuable and most important to you without chasing after these putting out urgent fires all over the place? So you burn out. Something just happened. I'm still here. I don't know what's going on. Can you guys hear me still? Okay. Cool. So, boo. I moved my iPad. Let's see if this works. Oh, yay. Okay, so the solution is get clear. Get clear on where you want to go. Get clear on the important stuff. Your energy flows where your focus goes, or your attention, as dictated by your intention. So magnifying glasses can start fire because they take the energy of the sun and focus it so much that it creates a flame or a spark, and then that spark becomes a flame, and then that flame becomes a fire. So what was burned out now is on fire, baby. All right? So your energy flows where your focus goes. So it's time to start boosting your focus on the right stuff. But we've got to dictate our intention. Get intentional. Create this inner tension. All right, let's do this. Values elicitation. This next piece is going to be a worksheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share in the chat. And for those of you watching the recording, there will be a download. Let's do this. Here we go. Can you just make sure that shows up? It should look like that. Let me know if that works for you guys. I wonder if that's probably really small. I'm too big. Let's go like that. Okay, got it. Cool. Okay, so there's a little worksheet here. And what we're going to do is I'd like to just take a moment to just answer these questions on the first page. So you don't have to, if you're live, if you're watching this, just look at my screen. My screen will have the questions on it, or you can do it yourself. Grab it, open the PDF. It's the same thing. Eliciting values. Let's just take a moment right now, guys, to think what is important to you. Just brain dump out the things that are important to you. What do you always have time for? What can you always find the money for? What do you always have the energy for? What do you love to talk about? How do you like to fill up your home? These are prompts. See if you can answer those. But then also, as you're doing this, it might water the pump. It might prime the pump, and other things might come out that aren't related to these questions. Let's get these values, these things that you value most, out of your head and onto paper. Let's do a little bit of a brain dump. So we'll go for 5 minutes. I'm just going to put myself on mute, grab a drink, and get these values out of your head, the things that are important to you. I'll be back. So, question, what do we mean by how do you feel your home? What do you think I mean by that? What's the first thing that comes to your mind, Vinny? Because it could be anything, right? Boom. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, people sounds good. Do you value people? People are a value to you? Yeah. It's kind of like a vague question to just open up you wouldn't bring into your home things that you don't value. Would you bring a saltwater crocodile into your bedroom? Would you bring there'd be things that it would be just like a no. No, never going to do that. I'm not going to bring that into my house. I'm not going to bring that. I'm not going to bring that. But I would fill my house with Laughter. I would have Marg, clutter. Clutter doesn't come into my house, or clutter does. It's a no. No, you shall not pass. But Philly says sunshine and plants fill her house up. Fill our house up. Does that make sense, Vinny? Nice. Yeah, cool. There you go. Yeah, so that would be it. So you usually value people that you know or that you care about above strangers. Cool. Okay. So another thing is, we won't do that. Let's go to the next bit. So people aren't confused. The value workshop PDF Chris just uploaded is very similar to this outlet from desired state, your why. You won't need to do this one again. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. Okay, so here's another thing. Are your values being met? We're going to put the timer on again, 2 minutes this time. And I want to know, what can you continue to be, do, or have? Oh, actually, sorry. No, write down all your values first. Write down all your values. So you would write down, for example, I've got this one, eat healthy. You might put in there plants. You might put in sun. You might put friends, for example. You might, what are some other things? Other stuff. You put that in, and then you give yourself a tick, or you give yourself a cross. So you don't have to write this list out again, because you've already written. You've constructed a list on your paper. So go ahead, write a little tick down there. You got 60 seconds. And you might also become aware of small values that you didn't think of before. All right. I think we're good there. Okay, so, and then ask yourselves these 3 questions. What can you continue to be, do, or have in order to get those values met? So for the ones that you have ticked off and the ones that you've crossed off, what can you continue to do? Because sometimes you're meeting those values, and so you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You want to make sure you keep going with what's working for you. And sometimes you got to cross. So what can you start to be, or what can you start to do, or what can you start to have and accumulate in order to get those values ticked off and met? What can you change in order to get those values met? So a little brainstorm. How can you meet your values? Okay. 1 minute. Bit lost. Awesome. Eating healthy. That's my one, my example there. What are some other examples? Can someone pop in a value that is being met? Pop into the chat. Creativity. I love it. Okay, so Fiona, so that is being met. So if we write that down here, let's go red. So creativity. Would it be like having connections with my kids? Yeah, there we go. Connection with my kids. Great. You always make time for your kids, but not for you. Yeah, okay, cool. And so then you can start to get a little bit clearer on what your values are. This is a really good question from Heidi. Thank you so much for asking. Okay, so if you look at the words that Heidi used, she said, would it be like having connections with my kids? What brings a connection to your kids? For example, I played catch with my daughter Poppy yesterday out in the front yard. And it was, I'm getting a bit emotional. That was really cool. It was a really, really, really cool experience. Top moment. And I didn't want to be anywhere else other than right there throwing the ball around with her. I valued that so much. And for me to be there in that moment, I had to meet a few criteria. I had to be present. I had to not be critical and perfection. I had to allow her to drop a few balls. I had to allow her to throw it in a way that's interesting. I had to allow her to throw it and like hit me in the nuts with the ball. She like pegged it. I'm like, oh, slow it down a bit, hun. And that was a learning experience because it only happened the once. And there was a certain way that I needed to be for that to happen. If I was a perfectionist, do you know what I mean? Like if I showed up as the opposite of those things, that beautiful experience would have been super quick and never happen again. Maybe. Does that make sense? Giving my undivided attention. Yeah. And then you can just kind of follow the what's the word? Production line. So what does connection mean? It means being present. And in order to be present, what do you need to have in order to be present? I need something. I need to not be distracted, not be distracted. In order to be not distracted, what do you need to have or do or be? I give an answer for that. And you just keep going and going and going. Just follow that. Does that make sense? Like you follow the breadcrumbs. And you get to the point. You get to the gold. Heidi, is that making sense? Awesome. So good. And then creativity. So creativity is being ticked off. What's the context with these things? So for example, connection with your kids, is that different to connection with your partner, connection with your friends, connection with yourself? Creativity, is there a difference? Is there a specific context there? Fiona. And then can you please mesh out what we would need? Like, I know what I don't need, not being distracted, but what else? Well, what's the opposite of being distracted, Heidi? Like, so you don't need to be distracted. Well, we never do anything unless there's some sort of belief underneath. And so in a moment, we'll talk, maybe we might not get time tonight. Yeah, boom. Why are you being distracted? For example, there is a need. This might sound weird, but Heidi, you actually need to be distracted. You need to think about the things that you're calling distracted. You have this urgency this little notification going off in your awareness field saying, bing, put out the fire, bing, put out that fire, bing, put out that fire, bing, squirrel, bing, fluffy dog, bing, urgency. And you're getting all these things coming up into your awareness. What's this? I always feel like I need to be doing a million other things, dishes, cooking, housework. Yes. So you've just listed some important things to you. Dishes are important to you. Cooking is important to you. Housework is important to you. Guys, is this making sense? So Heidi's actually, she thinks these are distractions, but actually they serve a purpose to her. And so it's unsafe for her to calm down and be present with her kids because there's this urgent fire. I mean, it's a fire. You got to put the fire out until she sees it differently. But for right now, her nervous system is cooked because she's urgently needing to think of the dishes, the cooking, the housework. So dishes, cooking, housework is a value for her, but there's a conflict going on. Do you remember the blurred lines? She wants this, but she also wants that. She hasn't got the context clearly delineated. Kimberly, yes, the same. Yeah, go. Oof, oof, oof. Boom. Okay. Mm. Amazing. Boom. And so, Kimberly, the same list of things helps me feel in control when the house is tidy, chores are done, and I know my energy is limited. So I put my energy in keeping things under control. Yeah, so you mentioned that in the same sentence. Control seems to be a value for you, right? Energy seems to be a value. Fiona, if I don't do the dishes now, etc., I'll be tied up later and won't get to rest later. Yeah. It's also easy ticking off those jobs quickly. Okay, so so there's a value in there. Hey Joe, can you see that? Like there's somewhere in that little sentence is a belief that underpins a value. So before I move to the next thing, what in the sausage sandwich has this got to do with health, right? Like, what do you reckon? Why? Why talk about this, Chris? You can come off mute if you want to. Yeah, but are these the right values to pursue? Stay tuned, Vinny. On the next slide, we shall talk about that exact question. Are these the right values? You know, because we haven't talked about right or wrong just now. We've just talked about values, and are they being met? Do you know what I mean? Like, because we haven't ranked them. Sometimes dishes are way more important than kids. Someone give me an example. What's a conflicting thing? We're talking about dishes. When does that kind of go to the top? Cooking dinners, friends over, right? I have got my mother-in-law over, and if I don't XYZ in the house, she's going to think I'm blah, 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 blah. It doesn't bring right or wrong into it. It just simply says, the elephant's in the room. I'm not the mother-in-law. The value. The value. Is the value being met or not? I feel like if I don't do all these things, then it would leave my husband to do it, and he's already busy enough with his work. Cool. So in that statement, Heidi, that's a belief, right? I feel like is another way of saying I believe in my manifesto of being Heidi that I do the stuff so my husband doesn't have to. I rest. Do you know what I mean? Like you've just clearly articulated that your husband is busy. I believe my husband's busy, and so I need to do this so that he doesn't have to. You value your husband's time, kind of goes above yours. It's likely less about the jobs and more about the energy in which you show up to do the things. It's coming from a place of fear rather than pottering around, humming, cooking with love, maybe. Yeah. And like, how are you showing up? Is it just slap something on a plate and chuck it in your mouth? It's like, here's some canned spaghetti. Get some toast. Eat it. It'll make you not grumbly in the tummy. Or is it like, come on, kids, let's connect over the cooking. Let's have a real special experience tonight. Like, or is it just like, I don't have time for this. Get the hell out of the kitchen. Raw, raw, raw. How are you showing up? So therefore, that is what I'm talking about. Is this gonna show? Why not it work? Screen share. And go. Okay. So that's what I mean by this. What can you be, do, or have in order to meet those values? So this might be a negative, perhaps. In order to meet the value of prioritizing my husband over myself, what do I need to be? Well, one, I need to be in a rush. I need to be a martyr. I need to be blah, 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 blah. So now it brings it back to Vinny. Like, what is most important? What's the right thing to have? So we'll go to the next screen. Let's rank them. What's most important? You know, paper, scissors, rock. Paper, scissors, rock. Dishes. What are three values? Dishes, creativity, husband. Like, who wins? So let's go 2 minutes with your values. What's most important? what's the top? What's at the top? Let's have a little paper scissors rock battle. Dishes, husbands, kids. You know, what's at the top? What's the most important value to you? We're not talking specifically about right or wrong. It's just the most important. And you can decide, once you've written it down, it's just like, it still is my husband. It's my flaming husband still. Or it could be something else. Oops, there we go, 2 minutes. You can start to almost coach yourself when you do this, because you realize it's kind of like, you build the tension. We've got 1 minute to go. It's okay if this ends up being half cooked. We're not cooking mincemeat here, we're just doing your values, so it's alright if this comes out half done. Not going to get salmonella. Cool. See, Mum. Okie dokes. So, you've ranked your values. Now, let's do this. Values and the beliefs. This is where it comes into right and wrong. Rather than calling it right and wrong, we call it resourceful or unresourceful. Rather than putting such a black and white good badness arisation, we're just going to see if it works for us or not. Is it resourceful or not? Now there's going to be some beliefs about these values. So the values that we've written down, so cooking dinners, being creative, what do you believe about that? So have a little think about this. So I think what we're going to do, just so you can be cognizant of time, I reckon we're going to call it at, I'll give you homework and things to do in 10 minutes. So we've got 10 minutes and then it's like, see you later. Have a good night. All right. 10 minutes and then it's done. Just so you're aware. Okay. For example, what do you believe about value? Can you come off mute, Fiona? We'll chat about one of yours. Pressure. Okay, so yeah, what's a value that you have? You said creativity before, yeah? That was the other Fiona. Oh, you two need to make nicknames. Cool. What are your top 5? Yes. Not boo to you, boo to me. What can you say what they were again? What's number one? Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Nice. Cool. Notice that these values here, love for God and people, balance, life and in general, growth, headspace, they're Fiona's words. Then they're words that might mean something a bit different to you guys. Um, do you have a fifth one? Well, that's joy. Cool. Okay. So there's going to be some beliefs around that when it comes to love, loving God, loving people. There's some really lovely, resourceful beliefs that really bring life, that really bring happiness and joy, that bring balance. There's some beliefs that bring growth as it applies to love. There's some things that bring a good headspace when it comes to love. There's some things that bring you joy, right? So there's resourceful beliefs, but then there's some, no, that might have been loud. There might be some not resourceful beliefs. Like it might come across with, it might go pear shaped for you. It's unresourceful. This is where the money is. If you can start identifying these things, that um, you start to win really quickly. Can you think of any resourceful or unresourceful beliefs that flow for any of these? Do you know what I mean by that? I love it. So I can learn something every day. Opportunity exists everywhere. XYZ. So these are resourceful beliefs. But then there's some unresourceful beliefs where you start to, because you start chasing growth, nothing's a problem until it is. Everything's okay until it's not. So where does this search for growth, this valuing growth, where does that go pear shaped for you? Where does the wonky box come out? Cool. Too far. Yeah, it goes too far. Like, um, so, so fear of missing out, learning, chasing, jumping onto YouTube. That's like your shiny unicorn bunny, right? When it comes to growth, you just chase after that. This little notification bell goes off. Bing! You're gonna miss out. Bing! This is really cool and it's on YouTube. You can watch it. Bing! This course just popped up. and you can chase after these things, remember you're going to miss out. So it's at that point that growth on the surface leads to every day I can learn something, opportunity exists everywhere. But when it goes too far, now you know it's not blurry anymore. You've only and you just started scratching the surface too, right? So the more you can lean into this work, we won't dig into this for everybody, but you can use Fiona's example to help you fill in your own columns. Because the clearer you can delineate these two things, the clearer you can get between left and right, between resourceful and unresourceful. It's not good or bad, like you said, Vinny, but it's what's working for you and what doesn't work for you. Where is this becoming a problem now? It's all right to not have people around your house and just have family and friends. Or what about when the, I don't know, like postman comes, or when something might come up where that is now a problem for you. Is this landing? Do you guys get what I mean? Who's got questions? Absolutely. Cool. All right. So just to give you a bit of homework of what to do, I would invite you to does everyone's got that PDF from the chat? The intent, yeah, and it seems like the intent is to see both sides for each of them, right? Yes. Because here's the thing. We won't have time to do this, but think of your excuses. Remember what I said? Excuses are like a butthole. Everyone's got them. And think about this. A common excuse that we use is, I would like to do this, but. It's like, aha, told ya. There it is. There's your but. Find these excuses. These excuses actually have a positive intention in there. Somewhere. If you can you hear yourself say these excuses, just write it down. It's really easy, or it's easier to pick it apart, kind of sift through, dust it off, kind of get it clear if you can see it. You guys have got way too much in your heads already. So get it out of your heads, put it onto some paper, plug your thoughts into outlet, so then you can get clear, blow it all away. And the idea here is seeing the secondary gains, seeing the thing that you actually get, the things that you get, and how you're meeting your needs unresourcefully from these excuses. All right, time. So let's do this. What have you learnt? What have you learnt? What are you leaving here with? What are you going away with? What are you gonna tuck into your heart and head off into the sunset with? And what are you leaving behind? What are you taking with you? What are you leaving behind? In the chat, let's have a little powwow. Heidi, my values and my actions aren't in alignment yet. Chuck a yet in there. Haha, that's it. Yeah, build the tension up. Yeah, and what's the result of that, Heidi? Like, where's that getting you? Where has that got you? If you keep doing this, if you keep being like this, if you keep having this, where's this? Yeah, burnout. And then what? Like, build that tension. Be like the young man and the guru. Just chuck your head underwater. Want this more than you can breathe. Like, just really Really feel that tension. Fiona, not really clear where I'm going. Like tonight or from like from here or in general. Yeah, okay, cool. Sweet. Yes. Yeah, and then yeah, build that up. Build that. How does that feel not knowing where you're going? How's that feel? What's that like for you? Is that a good thing, enjoyable thing? You satisfied with that? Like knowing, like just get really, if I could give you an invitation, it's just to really juice up. Do you know what I mean by juice up? Like really dial up the frustration or the tension inside of you. Get that urge. Remember, we're in desired state now. Want it. Like really want it. I don't know if that came out evil or like, but want it. Well, that probably sounds even more evil. Feel it. Get this. Working out what is not what I want. Working out what is not serving me at the moment and refocus. Try and say that fast 20 times. Cool. Rach. Lots of mulling over things going on in my brain. Interested in leaning into the feeling when going about my days of whether they do align with what I want and value in life. Sorry, I'm tired. Yeah, we're about to wrap it up. This is big because remember what I said. Yeah, it's huge. Remember what I said. We just chased after shiny unicorn bunnies, squirrels, all the time. We're chasing after these urgent things, putting out fires, and we're just burning ourselves out. It's not working for us, is it? Ready to consider again how I'm really living out my values. Yeah, it's a cycle. It goes around and around and around. It's a virtuous cycle. It's a growth spiral. Sometimes it feels like we're going backwards, going downwards, but it's a spiral. Yeah, you are. You might turn your back to the end destination only to spiral around and move up. Let's leave it there, team. All right. Have a good night. We're going to wrap it up. I look forward to reading your outlets. If you've got any questions, shoot us an email or leave us a comment down below. Have a good night. Have the best day ever. See you, team.